What's up guys? Ryan G here and welcome to the Rockstar Review Formula live virtual trainings. Over the next 4 weeks, I'm going to show you the secret to getting thousands of 5-star reviews in your practice so that you can attract high value patients like a magnet. So week number 1 is the secret. Week 2, I'm going to share with you the ask method, which this is the secret of how to get patients to actually leave a review. Week number 3, we're going to talk about the 7 critical mistakes that chiropractors make that prevent them from getting reviews. And week number 4, I'm going to show you how to pour gas on the fire. All right, so let's jump into week number 1. Today, I'm going to share the secret to getting thousands of 5-star reviews. But first, I want to share with you guys a very painful story. Sitting at my kitchen table, staring at a pad of paper with a weight on my shoulders that was so heavy, it felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest. The kids were playing in the background without a clue to the immense pressure that I was under. How did I get here? I thought to myself as I wrote down every stupid thing that I had done to put my family in such a bad position. You see, a few months earlier, we closed the door to my gun store, and with it, my only source of income. I was $97,000 in credit card debt, late on my mortgage payment, and every time it rained, I had to place buckets around my house to collect the rainwater. I knew I couldn't go back to my old job as a door-to-door salesman. I had tasted freedom and I wasn't going back. After a few hours, I made my decision. We are gonna start a firearms training business. But I had to do everything differently. My goal was to build a business that allowed me to work less and make more money so that I can enjoy time with my family. But what I really wanted was to no longer feel like a failure who was a slave to my business. I tried a lot of different things to grow my firearms training business that didn't work. I leased 12 billboards across Tampa. I ran TV and radio commercials, newspaper and magazine ads, Facebook ads, and Google ads. I was spending more money on marketing than a rapper at a strip club. And I was still struggling to attract new customers. At the time, I didn't realize that I had an enemy that was holding me back from success. It was my lack of an online reputation. If I didn't figure out how to get people to trust my business, I would be trapped in mediocrity, struggling to attract new customers into my business. But then one day, everything changed. When I was listening to an interview with Mark Zuckerberg, suddenly a light bulb went off in my head. People like to do what a lot of other people are doing. And let me ask you guys a question. If you saw a product on Amazon with 100 5-star reviews and a similar product with 1,000 5-star reviews, which one would you choose? You would choose the one with the most reviews, right? Because people like to do what a lot of other people are doing. This is how I discovered the Rockstar Review formula that I'm going to share with you guys today. And the strategy was simple. All I had to do was create overwhelming evidence that I was the most trusted business in my area. And the results that I achieved following this process are insane. I became the most highly sought after firearms instructor in the state of Florida. This allowed me to charge 25 times more money than my competitors and fueled my rapid growth to over 2,300 5-star reviews. And I got so excited that I started sharing the Rockstar Review formula with other business owners. Craig and Lewis received over 350 5-star reviews and had a 500% increase in revenue. And James received over 267 5-star reviews with a 250% increase in revenue. This is what gave me the big idea to create the Rockstar Review formula. Now, how many of you are excited to learn about the Rockstar Review formula? This is the easy way to attract high-ticket patients into your practice. And after 12 years of struggling, I learned the really hard way. But since you guys are here on this training today, you get to cheat and you get it the easy way. So here are the 5 steps of the Rockstar Review formula. Step number 1 is a VIP experience. Step 2 is amazing service. Step 3 is called the ask method. Step 4 is to respond. And step 5 is to showcase. So let's dive into step number 1. You must provide a VIP experience. You see, people only leave a 5-star review when a business exceeds expectations. And I want you guys to imagine for a second the last time that you went to McDonald's. So imagine you pull up to the drive-thru, you order your food. I'm sure the employee was rude or something. You order your food, they hand you your bag. Have you ever pulled out of the parking lot, slammed on your brakes, pulled out your phone and jumped onto Google and left a review? Of course not. But why? Why haven't you left a review for McDonald's? It's because you got exactly what you expected. And remember, people only leave a 5-star review when a business exceeds expectations. Last year, I took my family to the Trump National Doral Resort in Miami, Florida. Now, when we pulled up to the front of the building, the valet opened my door and said, "Mr. Thomas, welcome to the Trump National Doral." And I was totally blown away. How did this guy know my name? Then we walked inside where we were greeted by a man holding a tray filled with rich people water. Now, I'm not sure what kind of water rich people drink, but this must be it because I have never tasted water this good. And then a staff member with another tray walked out, had freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. And each of my kids grabbed more than they should have, but they grabbed some cookies, kind of shoved them in their pockets and were trying to hide them before mom realized. Now, would you agree that this is a VIP experience? But it didn't stop there. After we checked in, a staff member escorted us to our villa where we discovered a handwritten card from the CEO of the resort, welcoming the Thomas family. How cool is that? But then we noticed this really cool sculpture of a golf course, some golf balls that was sitting on the table. And it said, "Welcome Thomas family." And after a few minutes, we discovered that this sculpture was actually a dessert. It was like a cake. Would you agree that this is a VIP experience? It's been over a year and I'm still telling people about how amazing my experience was. And this is the goal of your chiropractic practice. Create an experience that patients can't stop talking about. Here are the 9 secrets to creating a VIP experience. Secret number 1 is curb appeal. When your patients pull into your parking lot, your building needs to be beautiful. Pressure wash the sidewalk, paint the building, pick up the garbage, tell the homeless guy to stop pooping in front of your building. It has got to be really nice when people pull in. If you want to become an industry-leading expert, you've got to look like an expert from the outside. Secret number 2 is you have got to give a warm welcome. You know, one thing that has always really bothered me about chiropractors is when I walk in, it's almost like the employees are upset that I showed up to my appointment. Now, this is not the case when I walked into Trilogy Chiropractic in Bradenton. As soon as I opened the door, I heard, "Hey, welcome, Mr. Thomas." Now, I gotta tell you, I was expecting the average run-of-the-mill chiropractor where the receptionist is rude, staring at her phone, updating her Tinder profile or whatever the hell she's doing. But when I walked in, there were 5 employees and the owners standing in the front, and all of them at the exact same time said, "Welcome, Mr. Thomas." And I was like, gosh, man, I kind of feel like I was getting attacked a little bit because it caught me off guard. But deep down inside, it made me feel important. And that is your goal. Secret number 3 is you have got to clean your building. Now, I once made a massive mistake of going to the Joint. My current doctor was on vacation. It was the only option, so I went to the Joint. And as I was sitting in the waiting room, I couldn't help but notice the piles of dirt and hair underneath the seating area. There were fingerprints on the glass wall, and there was grease marks, fingerprint marks on the painted wall in the building. It was so gross. Remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're so lazy that you can't clean the floor and pick up the Band-Aid that's stuck to your carpet, then you probably can't heal my back. Secret number 4 is you need an epic waiting room. Does your waiting room look like a medical office? If it does, that is not a VIP experience. A few months ago, I flew up to Fargo, North Dakota for a strategy meeting with Dr. Matthew Christensen. When I walked into his building, I was completely blown away. First of all, his entire staff walked around the counter to greet me at the door with a very warm welcome. But then I noticed the most beautiful, luxurious leather chairs in his waiting room. These chairs were massive and extremely comfortable. And then I noticed a snack bar filled with coffee, tea, cold water, fruit, snacks, and a leather-bound book filled with patient testimonials. Here's the bottom line. If you want to attract high-value patients who pay the big bucks, take all of your crappy office furniture, bring it into your parking lot, pour 5 gallons of diesel fuel on it, and light it on fire. Then go to the store and spend some money and buy some nice furniture. Secret number 5 is you've got to think about the kids. You know, in Florida, we have a grocery store chain called Publix, and they have cracked the code on serving children. You see, one of the most difficult things a parent can do is bring their kids shopping. You know, the kids don't want to go, it's boring. The parents don't want to bring the kids because they might misbehave or just cause problems. But Publix discovered a very unique solution to this problem. They give every kid a free cookie. Now my kids love going grocery shopping with mom because they are going to get a cookie, and my wife loves it because the kids only get a cookie if they listen to the rules. It's a win for my wife, it's a win for the kids, and most importantly, it is a win for Publix because the kids love going grocery shopping. Step number 6 is you have got to build a relationship. After I got out of the Air Force, I became a door-to-door salesman for Culligan Water. And one of the strategies that made me so successful is I wrote everything down. Hey, what's your dog's name? I would ask. Oh, that's Kingston. And as soon as the customer would turn their back, I would write down Kingston on my little pad of paper. And then a little kid would run by and I'd be like, hey, what's up, buddy? What's your name? And they'd give me a high five or whatever. And he'd say, oh, my name's Johnny. And I'd be like, oh, cool. What's up, Johnny? Good to meet you. And the first chance I got, I would write down the name Johnny, age 5. I had this one customer. She was a little Asian woman, and she was probably in her mid-30s, and her name was Kiamu. Now, as soon as she told me her name, I thought, how am I ever going to remember this name? So the entire time that I was inside of the home, it was like 20 minutes, I kept repeating her name in my head. Kiamu, Kiamu, Kiamu. And as soon as I got back to my car, I wrote down Kiamu. And then a week later, I had to go back to the house to make my final sales presentation. I parked down the street and I started reading over my notes. All right, cool. So the dog's name is Spot. The little boy's name is Johnny. The husband's name is Doug. And the wife's name is Kiamu. Kiamu, Kiamu. And I started practicing her name 10 or more times in the car. And then I knocked on the door and Kiamu answered. Hey, Kiamu, how are you? I gotta tell you, words will not explain the shocked look on this woman's face. And she said, how did you know my name? And I said, well, you told me your name last week. And she said, yeah, but nobody ever remembers my name and even fewer people know how to say it. And I said, well, do you want to know my secret? And she said, yes. And I said, well, while I was in your house, when you told me your name, I just kept repeating it in my head over and over again. Kiamu, Kiamu, Kiamu. And then I wrote it down when I got outside, and I actually parked in the front of your subdivision, and I practiced saying your name for like 10 minutes. I know it's kind of weird and creepy. I got to tell you, that was the easiest sale I have ever made in my life. They wrote me within an hour a check for $7,000 for a brand new water softener simply because I took the time to learn this woman's name. All right, secret number 7 is speed is king. Recently, I met a chiropractor who told me that he had a 3-month waiting list for new patients. Could you imagine being in extreme pain and discovering that you have to suffer for 3 months before you're gonna get relief? Is this a VIP experience? No! This is an example of a doctor who does not understand his perfect patient, does not have a system in place to scale his business, and frankly, is not charging enough money. Secret number 8 is high quality. If you truly want to provide a VIP experience for your patient, everything must be high quality. Now, we've already talked about the outside of your building, high quality furniture and friendly staff, but we didn't talk about your website. The simple truth is that your patients are judging your skills as a chiropractor based off of your website. Now, which website would you choose? Would you choose this crappy, terrible site that makes this chiropractor look like he's offering adjustments out of the back of a van? Or would you choose this beautiful expert hub that we created for one of our clients? You would choose the nice one, right? Because the nice one makes you feel like that doctor is an expert, like they know what they're talking about, and like they can solve your problem. Secret number 9 is simplicity. If you want to attract a flood of high-ticket patients, you must make it easy for them to work with you. Remember, your business will only grow to the point that your systems allow. Just imagine 2 businesses that sold hamburgers. One of them is a mom and pop burger stand that makes a hamburger so good it makes you want to slap your mama. And then the other is McDonald's. Now, which burger stand makes more money? If you said the mom and pop burger stand, then you are dumber than Joe Biden during a press conference. In 2023, McDonald's generated $23 billion in revenue. Not because they had the best burger, but because they had the best system. Your business will only grow to the point that your systems allow. And some of you are attempting to grow your practice with an outdated system. You must simplify your business with systems, processes, and automations. And this is where BlowUp Local comes in. We make it easy for docs to automate their businesses with the chiropractic marketing system. So that is step number 1 of the Rockstar Review formula. I just showed you how to wow your patients by creating a VIP experience. The next step in the Rockstar Review formula is to provide amazing customer service. Have you ever heard the phrase, the customer is always right? Well, if you've worked in customer service, you know that the customer is frequently wrong, rude, and disrespectful. And it doesn't matter. On a cold winter day in Fairbanks, Alaska, an elderly man struggled as he rolled a pair of tires to the customer service desk at Nordstrom. The man was visibly frustrated and demanded a refund on the tires. The only problem is Nordstrom is a luxury clothing store, and they don't sell tires. Without skipping a beat, the Nordstrom employee asked, "May I have your receipt?" "I don't have a receipt," the man replied. "Okay, just give me one moment." The employee called a local tire shop to get an estimate of the value of the tires. And then he reached into the cash register and refunded the purchase price. This is an amazing example of how to wildly over-deliver for your customers, even though you're not required to. And that's the key, because it doesn't even matter if this customer bought the tires from somebody else. This story has created hundreds of millions of dollars of free marketing and advertising for Nordstrom, and it only costs them a couple $100, which is so amazing. So here are the 7 ways that you can provide amazing customer service in your practice. Number 1 is hire friendly staff. Your staff is the face of your practice. They are the first and last point of contact for your patients. So it is crucial to hire individuals who are naturally very friendly, empathetic, and patient-oriented. Look for candidates with a track record of excellent customer service and a genuine desire to help others. It's also important to provide regular training to ensure your staff maintains a high standard of customer service and represents your practice's values. Number 2 is you have got to fix problems very quickly. When a patient encounters an issue, whether it's a billing error, a scheduling conflict, or a simple misunderstanding, it is essential to address and resolve the problems lightning fast. Train your staff to actively listen to patients' concerns and apologize sincerely for any inconvenience. Like if you screw up, just tell them, "Hey, I'm really sorry. We made a huge mistake. This is how we're going to prevent it from happening again, and this is how we're going to fix it for you." Follow up with your patients to ensure that their issue has been resolved and that they are satisfied. By demonstrating a commitment to problem solving, you're showing your patients that their well-being and their happiness is your top priority. Number 3 is you have got to eliminate friction. Identify and remove any potential barriers or points of friction that may negatively impact your patient experience. This could include streamlining your booking process, reducing waiting times, simplifying the paperwork, offering flexible payment options. Here's the bottom line. You have got to consistently look at your processes, look at the feedback from patients, and identify areas where you can make things so simple that anybody can do it. And by making it easy and convenient for your patients to interact with your practice, you will enhance the overall experience. Number 4 is you have got to empower your staff to fix problems. Give your staff the authority and resources that they need to resolve patient issues on the spot. They shouldn't have to come ask you, like, hey, this patient is upset, can we give them a refund? They should know whether they're allowed to give a refund or not. Empower them to make decisions and offer solutions without needing to escalate the matter to you. Provide clear guidelines and training on how to handle the common scenarios. And trust your staff to use their judgment and discretion. When your staff feels empowered to take ownership of problem solving, they are going to be more invested in delivering excellent customer service. Number 5 is you have got to care about your patients. Show genuine care and concern for your patients beyond their immediate chiropractic needs. Take the time to listen to their concerns, answer questions, and provide reassurance. Remember important details about their lives, such as their families, hobbies, their work, and ask them about these things during their visits. It's also really important to send personalized follow-up messages to check on their progress and well-being. By building strong, caring relationships with your patients, you foster loyalty and trust. Number 6 is you've got to reward your staff. Recognize and reward your staff for delivering exceptional customer service. Celebrate successes and milestones, such as a positive patient review or feedback. You might even want to implement an incentive program that encourages your staff to go above and beyond for patients. This could include bonuses, extra time off, or recognition. By showing appreciation for your staff's efforts, you're going to create a very positive work environment that motivates them to consistently deliver amazing results. Number 7 is you have got to ask for feedback. You know, a few years ago, my sister-in-law asked me which chiropractor I was using. I told her the name, and then I said, I do not recommend him. Now, she was pretty stunned by that, and she said, why not? Why don't you recommend this guy? And I said, well, the staff is rude. They're kind of strange. Sometimes when I walk in, they're friendly and they're excited to see me. Other times, it's like they're mad that I walked in the door. Plus, the doctor seems very rushed. He doesn't seem interested in eliminating my pain. Now, this doctor, he had no clue how I felt about his practice because he never bothered to ask me. And this is why you must survey your patients to see how they feel about your practice. And this is also something BlowUp Local does automatically, is send your patients a survey so that you can look at the data and see if they're not happy about one receptionist. You might not notice that that receptionist is a problem, but when you see hundreds of people commenting that the receptionist is rude or grumpy, that might be a person that you need to fire. So regularly seek feedbacks from patients, engage your satisfaction, and identify areas for improvement. Remember, providing amazing customer service is an ongoing process that requires consistent effort and attention. By implementing these 7 strategies and making them an integral part of your practice's culture, you'll create patient experiences that set you apart from the competition and drive long-term success. So that is week number 1 of the Rockstar Review Formula live virtual trainings. I just showed you the number 1 secret to getting thousands of 5-star reviews. You must wildly over-deliver to serve your patients. Are you guys getting this? Are you seeing the value in this? All right, so next week, we're gonna dive into the next step of the Rockstar Review Formula. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next training.